Welcome back, guys. Since there is not a lot going on in Master Duel right now, I wanted to make this ban list prediction. Take a look at what is going on right now and maybe what should happen on the ban list. I personally think, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this are. I personally think that we are kind of like in a good situation right now in Master Duel. There are some things that I think need to change. It also depends on what we will get in the next pack. If you want to think about that and check out what I have to say on that, check out the video in the top right corner. But I guess with the ban list coming in a few days, I would assume we might already get a hint at what we are getting, because sometimes they hit stuff around important decks already in the forefront, so we will have to see. So we are over on Untapped GG and we can see like the win rate of decks, and obviously Maliss is still the best one. I'm pretty surprised that we have Blue Eyes here, but this I guess also because Blue Eyes is represented mostly in Platinum here, whereas Maliss is the most represented deck by far in Master. So we can still say Maliss is the strongest deck right now. No big surprise there, especially in our best of one format and with nobody, or at least close to no one, playing Lancias anymore. This is no big surprise, so I'm sure we will see more Maliss hits, and we will talk in a second about what that could mean. Then we have Orchest here, obviously super new, and I think it's still okay. You can see from the distribution here that it is represented a lot in Diamond. So I think this is one thing to always keep in mind if a deck is not super represented in the higher ranks, but maybe in one of the lower ranks, and is not too bad, then I think there's nothing that is going to happen to the deck. Orchest obviously is new in the shop, so nothing will happen to Orchest, nothing will happen to Mitsurugi. We could see hits on these connecting pieces like King of the Feral Imps, though I don't really think so. With Ryziel, we have some cards that I think need to go, but these are not Ryziel cards, but supporting cards, you could say. And then we have Life Twin, which I think this is Fiendsmith control, which is totally fine. Telemann's fine. Sky Striker and Bestial, all of these decks are obviously fine. And once again, like I already said, I think we are kind of in a healthy state right now, though there are some cards that I think need to go. So what am I talking about? We have seen over the last few days or over the last decade meta weeklies that a lot of people were playing some floodgate-ish cards in especially the Ryziel deck. For example, Barrier Statue of the Drought, which you can search and get to your hand and board through different means. For example, also via the Gallant Granite. You could obviously also hit Gallant Granite. I think this is a very, very strong rank 4 option that can also search you Nibiru or Fossil, Adina, Pankratops, but you could also just hit these connecting pieces here, these floodgates. I'm not quite sure why we would not put every barrier statue to Forbidden. Honestly, I think they are so badly designed cards. So I think this is something that definitely should go. Together with the Fossil, Dyna, Patsy, Shefalo, this is at 1 with us in Master Duel, but it doesn't really matter since you can just search this guy. Because he's a rock, you can just search it with the Gallant Granite. Obviously, you kind of need to want you normal summon in Ryziel, so you don't want to use your normal summon on the Fossil Dyna. But this card is just super strong and super annoying, pretty hard to deal with. The only upside being that it has 1,200 attack, so you can attack over this, but this will cost you your battle phase. Also, Ryziel has some protection effects that it can use in order to not let you destroy this card. So I think Barrier Statue of the Drought as well as Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo should definitely go. Obviously, this would also hit the stun deck in general, but I think this is a good a way to do it. This is just bad for the game experience, and cards like this should go. We have Harpy's Featherstorm next, which you can also use with Ryziel. You would just make the rank 4, how is it called? The Blaster something, Winged Blaster. But you can make this with 2 level 4 monsters, and this is a Winged Beast, a Winged Beast. You could also use your Fuvolos, obviously normal summon Fuvolos, set Harpy's Featherstorm, basically skipping your opponent's turn. We have also seen this one running around in Ryziel, once again very unhealthy, so should go. And then we have Protoss. It is forbidden in most formats, and I think we should get it to a forbidden in Master Duel as well. Once again, a card that you can search in Ryziel with the Nemesis flag. And once again, a super unhealthy card. Calling Dark is extremely strong. You can always call Dark with the Protoss, hitting a lot of archetypes, or for example Mitsurugi, especially Mitsurugi, I guess. But then you can also obviously hit light monsters. You have them available with your Ryzeal monsters. You can hit earth monsters when you use your Gagaga package, which a lot of Ryzeal decks are doing. So I think that Ryzeal is at a fine place and at a fair spot if we just remove these unhealthy pieces and make the game more enjoyable for everyone that way. And then I think once again we have to do something about Maliss. Still, the hits that we have received are not yet enough, and I also think that introducing a new meta decks will not change the situation, since Maliss will just need a hit. So what I would like here is, for example, the link decode. As you can see, it's already forbidden in the TCG. Going to forbidden, this is a very important piece, giving you an extra body, also making the entire play into Nibiru safer, and just making it easier to climb into the Maliss monster. So link decode, I think, is one card that could definitely go to forbidden. The more likely one, in my opinion, will most likely be the Maliss Right Rabbit. We still have it at 3. We could definitely see this going to 2 or maybe even to 1. I'm not quite sure whether we will do this in like one step going to 1. I would rather assume that we will put it to 2 first, and then depending on how we see the development of the Maliss win rate, maybe put it to 1 at the end. And I think, and this is the crazy thing, the deck will still be viable then, because it has a lot of consistency stuff and it has a lot of 2-card combos that can still make the entire end board. So we see this in the TCG at the moment. Maliss is still running around, even though in the TCG we have a side tag, even though in the TCG a lot of these cards are either forbidden or at 1. We have Splash Mage forbidden, and this deck still works. So we will definitely see, or need to see, more hits. I don't think we will see the Splash Mage hit right now, because this also hits the Adignista stuff and they have new support, so I don't really think they want to get that caught in the crossfires, but we will have to see. And this is the situation that we currently have. I think this is realistic stuff that could happen on the ban list, and then obviously we will see some stuff come back from the ban list. Maybe some of the Kashira cards I would definitely like coming back, because I think they definitely can. And will we see something happening to Fiendsmith? I don't really think so. It's not super dominant right now, and why would you hit it then? Other than that, I think we have kind of a healthy meta, and the Steam charts and numbers represent this. We have more or a bigger player base right now in Master Duel than we had before, so seems to be a good development. Very interested in seeing what comes in December. This could definitely change up the meta a lot. And then we are kind of close, I already mentioned this, to the release of the next meta changing archetypes, to Yami, to Dracotail, to K9. So there's a lot of change coming within the next few months, especially in February, but let's see what happens until then. Let me know in the comments what do you think of my thoughts here, and what do you think needs to go. Maybe you are playing, I don't know, in Platinum or something, or maybe even in Gold, and there's a deck that is super dominant there. This might also be the reason, by the way, now that I'm looking at Blue Eyes here, why we see these Blue Eyes hits, or have seen these Blue Eyes hits, because maybe it was super represented in Platinum and Gold with a high win rate, and maybe people there were bored of the deck and then they decided to hit it, because I was a bit surprised back in the day when they hit the Sage and the Maiden 2-2, because it was not really a super dominant deck, and we had Ryzeal coming to the game shortly afterwards. So yeah, this is where we are right now. I think Master Duel kind of nice right now, I have to say, and is way better than we had before. So Maliss getting weaker and weaker is definitely what we need to see here. But once again, let me know in the comments what you think of this. If you like my video, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one, guys.